Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is now July 21st. I'm Lisa here with Dillon, ready to kick off the weekend. We've been talking about this big heat wave. So before we get into our news headlines and tell you what we're gonna jump right into weather because, hey, it's the weekend. You don't love hot weather.
I do not.
But
you do.
I do like hot weather. It's July,
Yep.
and so some people have been wanting more warm July weather back.
Yeah, it's
You're
coming.
giving it to them.
Next week, it's going to be here this weekend, slowly warming up into the middle to upper 80s. So today, low 80s, couple of scattered showers around. Unfortunately, not enough to actually accumulate to much. A couple spots could get lucky enough, but not looking like a lot. Tomorrow, a couple of thunder showers, but still, once again, not looking like big rain or any severe weather. None of that. Just a couple of pop-up storms throughout the entire region, so nothing big there. But otherwise, warming up, that's the trend. 90s by next week, which of course is, I'm not a fan of that. And also, we're, very dry right now, so we could use some rain and not more hot. It's not going to improve any drought conditions or anything. We're not in a drought, but we are very dry, so we could use some of that rain. So that's pretty much the forecast. Quiet, warming up, and we'll see how long this heat lasts. But it looks to last at least through next week, probably Thursday, Friday, so we start to slowly break down back into the upper 80s. But it's going to be hot coming up.
So just be aware, drink lots of water, make a plan. Although we kind of talk, lightly about it being hot and loving it hot, it can be dangerous when we're talking temperatures like this and dry. So be careful out there. Chance for some thunder showers possibly today or no?
Yeah, there's a couple around, but I wouldn't really call it a great chance.
Okay.
I mean, don't ruin your plans, and they're not going to be, big enough. Some spots might be like enough to pick a tenth of an inch up.
Okay.
But, it's not going to be enough for farmers to be happy when they could use multiple inches of rain on a day like today. So it is what it is. Hopefully we can get some rain soon because we could use it.
All right, sounds good. Of course, Dillon will be back on. Our next newscast is 11 o'clock, so he'll have the very latest Friday forecast for you and look ahead to the weekend as well. All right, well, today, big day. We're expecting to learn a lot more information. We've been talking about this all week. There's a 10:30 news conference planned this morning that we're going to be carrying live on WDAY. We're expecting to hear from the FBI and the BCI for the first time. It's now been 1 week since that deadly police shooting in Fargo that killed Officer Jake Wallin and critically wounded 2 other police officers and an innocent bystander. That news conference, once again, is planned at 10:30 this morning at Fargo City Hall. Earlier this week, Attorney General Drew Wrigley revealed that 37-year-old Mohammed Barakat had planned to hurt even more people. He said today, he kept saying, I can't release too much information. That was on Wednesday. But today, he said, they would share a lot more details on their investigation, what they've learned over the last, 7 days. Of course, we've shown you the picture quite a few times throughout the week of what they found inside the suspect's car: 7 guns, 1,800 rounds of ammunition, a handmade hand grenade was inside the car. What we haven't seen yet is a picture of Barakat. And so Wrigley is hoping to provide that today. We're hoping to be able to share that with you as well today. He did say they had a driver's license photo, but on Wednesday they weren't able to legally share that. So we're working right now to find out what will be shared. But of course, 10:30 this morning, we'll have team coverage. Once again, it will be live streamed on inform.com, live on our air on WDAY. And of course, throughout the day, we'll kind of break down all of the new information that we're expecting to learn today. So be sure to stay with WDAY and inform.com throughout the day. Sticking with this story, I want to remind you, of course, WDAY will also be broadcasting Officer Wallin's funeral, which is happening this weekend. The funeral is happening at the high school in Pequot Lakes, Minnesota, tomorrow morning at 10:30. We're going to be broadcasting the funeral, but also that public celebration of life that has been planned for this coming Wednesday. That's going to be here in Fargo at Shields Arena. Right now, people around our area are being asked to take some extra precautions after West Nile has been found in even more mosquitoes. The latest, people in Wahpeton are being urged to be very careful after mosquitoes with West Nile were found there. You may remember we've reported here on WDAY that Grand Forks and East Grand Forks last month reported West Nile. Cass County has reported, of course, West Nile being found in mosquitoes as well. So just kind of ramping up. We're seeing more numbers. Health experts are encouraging people to protect themselves and their families. That includes limiting time outdoors, dusk and dawn, the worst times. Wear those long sleeve shirts, pants, and wearing bug spray with DEET, also a good time, even though we just heard Dillon say it's pretty dry right now. If you do have any standing water around your home, though, it's a good idea to try to get rid of that because, of course, you can breed mosquitoes in that area. Here's an update. We've been, of course, following Trollwood Singing in the Rain. Last summer, the show was canceled. This summer, we were very excited for the return of Trollwood, but then last week's storms actually really caused a lot of problems, damaged the set, and they weren't able to do their opening night. Well, they are good to go. The stage is ready, and they're going to open up tonight at 8:30 at Bluestem Auditorium in Moorhead. If you had tickets, you'll be able to redeem them for more shows. Of course, initially they were going to have 11 shows this season, limited now to 8. So just call ahead if you have those tickets you want to swap out, but just know that the plan is to have the show go on tonight at Bluestem. Another fun story that's happening this weekend, of course, there's been a lot of buzz. GMA has been talking about this a ton. The new Barbie movie premiering tonight, and the Fargo Theater is getting in on the Barbie action. They're going to have a Barbie-themed costume party ahead of the 7:30 screening of the movie tonight. People are encouraged to arrive dressed in Barbie and Ken outfits for a chance to win prizes. Also, thanks to a generous donor and Barbie collector, the theater will host a small silent auction featuring unique Barbie dolls and accessories. All of the proceeds from that auction will benefit the theater. So that's happening tonight. Maybe if you haven't got ready for the day yet, you just want to put some pink on and take part in all of the Barbie mania that's happening today. This is a very, very cool interview I'm going to talk about right now. Organizers say TEDx Fargo was well beyond their expectations this year. 1,500 tickets sold for the event. It was a sold-out event. It happened yesterday at the Fargo Theater, or Fargo Civic Center, rather. One of the big speakers that drew a lot of attention, Christy Hefner. You might not know her, but you do know that name, right? The daughter of Playboy's Hugh Hefner has made a name for herself in the business world. She took over the struggling Playboy Enterprises, which was millions in debt when she was just 29 years old, and reinvented the company. Well, our own WDAY's Kirsten Keeley sat down with her one-on-one and found she is no stranger to Fargo. Of course, Kirsten had part of that interview on our news last night on WDAY News at 10, but you can watch the entire interview. We have it posted on inforum.com. Very cool interview and very insightful. You should definitely check that out. And while you're online, I kind of want to go back to our top big story. Of course, a little is really known about the shooting suspect, Mohammed Barakat, the gunman who killed a police officer and wounded 2 others. But an article on inforum.com today has some really interesting insight. The headline, Fargo gunman used local firing range and took EMS classes. The forum contacted multiple shooting ranges from DL to Horace and learned that the attacker did use a firing range that was in West Fargo. Very interesting read. Kind of have to read between the lines a little bit. I'm guessing we might even hear a lot more about this possibly today at this news conference that we're going to be airing live at 10:30 this morning. But anyway, a very interesting article. You're going to want to check that out, inforum.com, in addition to that great interview that Kirsten Keeley did as well. Coming up here at 9 o'clock, Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra. Today, we're about 2 weeks out from the high school football practice opening in North Dakota, and defending state champion Shanley head coach, Troy Mattern is going to join Dom in studio for a preview of this upcoming season, so you're going to want to tune in for that. Plus, of course, the U.S. women's national team opens the World Cup tonight, looking to make history and win a 3rd straight title. They're favored to win. That's all happening on Hot Mic, live 9 to 11 this morning on WDAY Extra and also inforum.com. I just want to remind you, of course, as well, we are live every weekday morning, right around that 8 o'clock hour, but you can watch this anytime on your Facebook feed throughout the day if you want to get caught up on some of your news and weather headlines. We also make this into a podcast, so you can find that at inforum.com/podcast. Just look for the Inforum Minute. We're also on our Inforum YouTube channel and, of course, live on air. We have newscasts all throughout the day. Every weekday morning, first news, 5 to 7. Of course, I mentioned already, Dillon will be back on with the weekend forecast for you. Come up here at 11. And then this afternoon, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Team coverage starting again, covering that news conference at 10:30 this morning. We'll be back live. You can watch that inforum.com, also on TV on WDAY. And of course, like I mentioned, we're going to be breaking down all of that new information for you throughout the day. So be sure to stay with WDAY and inforum.com. If you haven't yet, get that all-access pass to inforum.com. Your first 3 months, 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. It's an absolutely great deal. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you for joining us.